With over 44,000 stores across 110 countries, regardless of your feelings toward it, whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in between, Subway has undeniably been a fixture in many people's lives. And no, we're not referring to the underground train system. We're talking about America's iconic sub-sandwich chain, which has earned its place as a household name for millions across the globe.
Then create yours today. Subway, eat fresh.
Subway reigns as the world's largest fast food chain, surpassing giants like McDonald's and KFC. But it all began with a 17-year-old from the Bronx who, on opening day, had never even made a sub before. Despite years of prosperity, Subway's journey has recently taken a downturn. What led to this decline, and can Subway recover? To find out, let's rewind to the very beginning. It all began with a man named Fred DeLuca. Fred DeLuca's journey began in 1947 in the bustling borough of Brooklyn, New York. Born into a blue-collar family, his parents worked hard to provide for him. At the age of 5, the family relocated to the Bronx, where they found themselves in a housing project, a step up from their previous basement dwelling. Life in the Bronx offered stability until circumstances forced another move. Fred's father's job prompted the family to uproot once again, this time to Schenectady, New York. Despite the upheaval, the DeLucas found solace in forming close bonds with the Buck family, sharing moments of joy through picnics and gatherings. However, as Fred approached the end of his high school years, fate intervened once more, and the families lost touch. The DeLucas found themselves relocating yet again, this time to Bridgeport, Connecticut, as they sought to navigate life's twists and turns. Coincidentally, the Bucks found themselves settling in Armonk, New York, not far from Bridgeport. Upon establishing their new home, they reached out to the DeLucas, reigniting a connection that had been lost in the whirlwind of change. By then, Fred had graduated high school with aspirations of pursuing a career in medicine, fueled by the support and encouragement of those around him. In 1965, Frederick Adrian DeLuca stood at a crossroads. As his 18th birthday approached, he grappled with the desire to pursue a medical career, but faced the harsh reality of lacking the financial means to pay for college. Determined to find a solution, Fred sought the counsel of the family friend, Peter Buck, a nuclear physicist whom he admired for his seemingly steadfast grasp on life. One fateful day, under the warmth of the sun at a barbecue hosted by Peter, Fred seized the opportunity to broach the topic that weighed heavily on his mind. With trepidation mingling with hope, Fred approached Peter, ostensibly seeking advice but secretly yearning for financial assistance. Little did he know that this conversation would alter the course of his life in unimaginable ways. Recalling that pivotal moment, Fred later shared in an interview the intensity of his apprehension and the urgency of his need. He vividly remembered the worry that gnawed at him as he contemplated the daunting prospect of funding his college education with meager earnings from his job at the local hardware store. To Fred's astonishment, Peter's response transcended mere advice or a loan. Instead, Peter proposed a daring proposition: to open a submarine sandwich shop. Drawing inspiration from the resounding success of a similar establishment in Peter's hometown, he envisioned it as a lucrative venture that could not only sustain Fred through college, but also pave the way for a prosperous future. In an unexpected turn of events, Peter offered to become Fred's partner in this ambitious undertaking, extending a guiding hand that would ultimately lead to the birth of a pioneering enterprise. For Pete, the solution seemed straightforward, despite his background as a nuclear physicist and lack of business experience. He was so convinced of their potential success that he offered to partner with Fred, who, coming from the Bronx housing projects, saw it as a golden opportunity. As they delved into planning, Pete shared an inspiring story about Mike's Subs, a small shop that grew into an empire despite its humble beginnings. This tale sparked a fire within Fred and Pete, prompting them to set ambitious goals: 32 restaurants in 10 years. That night, fueled by determination and optimism, they brainstormed menu ideas, pricing strategies, and set their sights on the future. Before parting ways, Pete handed Fred his first investment, a $1,000 check, a gesture that would set the wheels of their journey in motion. Little did they know, this initial investment would lead to a billion-dollar return, but not without enduring nearly a decade of challenges and setbacks along the way. The very next day, Fred secured a small, albeit hard-to-find store in Bridgeport. Though the location posed challenges, it was affordable and in decent condition, good enough for Fred and Pete. In a matter of minutes, they struck a deal with the landlord, sealing it with a handshake. Formalities like signing a lease seemed unnecessary, given their tight budget. Eager to learn the craft of sub-making, Fred and Pete embarked on a trip, with Portland, Maine, as their first destination. Pete, being from Portland, had fond memories of Amato's, a local Italian deli renowned for its subs. They meticulously studied the operations of various shops, comparing notes along the way. After much deliberation, they settled on blending the best features of Mike's and Amato's, the variety of subs and foot-long rolls from Mike's, combined with the flavorful blend of oils from Amato's. Determined to set competitive prices, they mirrored Mike's pricing strategy, reasoning that its widespread success was a promising indicator. With a pragmatic approach, Fred and Pete understood that true comprehension of their business could only come from hands-on experience. They were prepared to adapt and learn as they went along, knowing that mistakes were inevitable but correctable. As they drove home, plans for the grand opening of Pete's Submarines took shape, scheduled for August. Fred took to the streets, personally distributing flyers to curious passers-by, inviting them to the upcoming sandwich shop opening. Despite the unconventional location at the back of a shopping center, Fred's enthusiasm and determination convinced each driver to promise their attendance. On August 28, 1965, Pete's Submarines opened its doors for the first time, marking Fred's debut in the world of sub-making. However, a looming English exam forced him to entrust the shop to a friend for the day. Returning later, Fred was stunned by the sight of a packed parking lot and a bustling shop filled with eager customers. By day's end, they had sold over 300 subs, forced to close early due to running out of ingredients. Buoyed by the success of their first day, Fred and Pete envisioned a bright future, anticipating returning customers and exponential growth. However, their optimism was short-lived as subsequent months saw dwindling sales, with few new customers walking through their doors. Fred and Pete brainstormed tirelessly, trying various strategies and even investing in a costly radio advertisement, all to no avail. Fred and Peter faced an unexpected challenge when their initial radio advertisement for Pete's Submarine sounded too much like Pizza Marines, causing confusion among potential customers. Recognizing the need for clarity, they rebranded to Pete's Subway, eventually simplifying it to just Subway in 1968, laying the groundwork for the iconic brand we know today. As financial struggles mounted, they faced the harsh reality of being unable to meet rent and payroll. In a moment of desperation, Pete scribbled 8 letters on a notebook, L-T-D-A-T-A-T-K. It was a stark suggestion. Lock the door and throw away the key. The prospect of closing shop so soon rattled Fred, who believed it was premature to give up. Thankfully, Fred's resilience spurred Pete to reconsider. They pondered unconventional solutions, ultimately settling on a daring plan, opening a second shop. Despite the risk, they reasoned that 2 locations would offer opportunities for experimentation and perceived demand. Opting against relocating their existing shop due to sunk costs, they opened their second location in Fairfield, Connecticut. To their delight, the new venture flourished, prompting the launch of a third shop that same year. Initially, sales soared across all 3 locations, reinforcing their belief in the benefits of expansion. However, their optimism was short-lived as sales dwindled with the onset of winter, revealing the seasonal nature of their business. Their patience eventually bore fruit as sales rebounded in the spring, signaling a turning point for Fred and Pete's business. Over time, as their reputation grew and eating habits evolved, their enterprise became more stable. Their inaugural location, unfortunately, struggled due to its less-than-ideal placement in an obscure area. Despite the initial setback, Fred saw it as a valuable learning experience, emphasizing the importance of strategic site selection and robust marketing efforts. Determined to avoid similar pitfalls, they made sure that subsequent branches were situated in high-visibility locations, setting the stage for future success. Meanwhile, Fred underwent a personal evolution, relinquishing his dream of becoming a doctor and pivoting to psychology, driven by a desire to graduate and chart his career path later. Yet, he remained steadfast in his commitment to achieving the ambitious goal he and Pete had set: 32 restaurants in 10 years. As the 8th year of Pete's Submarines rolled around, Fred had successfully opened 16 restaurants. Recognizing the need for guidance to achieve their expansion targets, Fred sought counsel from William Rosenberg, a franchise pioneer. Inspired by Rosenberg's advice, Fred pondered a strategic shift for Subway's expansion: franchising. This innovative approach would delegate restaurant ownership and operation to other motivated entrepreneurs, while maintaining the established Subway format and menu proven successful in their initial 16 locations. By embracing franchising, Fred and Peter could relinquish the burdens of day-to-day restaurant management, entrusting franchisees to uphold Subway's standards and brand integrity. Entrepreneurs would invest in setting up their own Subway restaurants, leveraging the recognized brand and quality products. As franchising took precedence, Peter's role gradually evolved into that of a silent partner, with no designated office at Subway HQ. He deflected inquiries about the business to Fred, yet continued to benefit from a share of the profits stemming from his modest initial investment. The pivotal decision to embrace franchising in 1974 heralded a new era for Subway's growth trajectory. Within the first year alone, 15 franchisees signed up, signaling widespread interest in the concept. Despite their ambitious goal of reaching 32 stores within a decade, they fell short, ending the 9th year with only 16 units. Undeterred by this setback, Fred recognized the potential of franchising as a means to accelerate their expansion. In the mid-70s, franchising was not as common as it is today, and Fred and Peter had to navigate the process themselves. Despite the steep learning curve, Fred firmly believed that franchising was the key to achieving their ambitious growth targets. Their decision to embrace franchising proved to be a turning point for Subway. With the support of independent owners operating under the Subway brand, the company experienced exponential growth. Driven by Fred's unwavering passion, Subway experienced rapid expansion. By 1978, they had established 100 stores nationwide. By 1981, they had expanded to an impressive 166 stores, a testament to Fred's vision and determination. Surpassing their goal, they reached 5,000 units ahead of schedule in 1990, with the numbers continuing to soar. By 1995, Subway boasted an impressive 10,000 stores, signaling a promising future. This remarkable growth underscores the power of focus and goal setting, illustrating how they can fuel significant progress and maintain momentum in any endeavor. Moreover, Subway distinguished itself with its innovative approach to customer engagement. Embracing the concept of open kitchens early on, Subway allowed customers to witness their food being prepared firsthand, fostering trust and enabling customizable options on the fly. 3 years later, a Subway franchisee named Stuart Frankel introduced a groundbreaking idea: the $5 foot-long sub. Initially met with skepticism from corporate, Stuart's promotion proved to be a phenomenal success, with sales skyrocketing from $14,000 to $23,000 per week in his shop alone. Despite doubts about its viability on a national scale, the $5 foot-long promotion was eventually embraced by Subway's corporate leadership. The initiative generated billions of dollars in revenue and became a staple offering for the company. However, despite its successes, Subway has encountered numerous challenges over the years, including issues related to food quality, brand ambassadors, and franchisee relations. By 1981, Subway had achieved national prominence, boasting 200 locations across the United States, followed by another 100 in the subsequent year. This rapid expansion surpassed what Fred and Peter could accomplish independently, validating franchising as the optimal strategy for Subway's continued growth and success. In the 1980s and 1990s, Subway franchises stood out as one of the most economical options to set up, costing significantly less than establishing McDonald's, Taco Bell, or Wendy's locations. This affordability was attributed to Subway's streamlined operations, requiring less expensive equipment and favoring unconventional, cost-effective locations. Subway aimed for its franchise locations to be quick to build, inexpensive to operate, and strategically placed in various unconventional settings. You can find Subway restaurants in petrol stations, airports, post offices, hospitals, universities, and even military bases. The diversity of locations was remarkable, with Subways popping up in unexpected places like a fake Virginia town used by the FBI for training, an entirely kosher Subway in a Jewish community center in Ohio, and even aboard a German river cruise ship. This flexibility in site selection enabled Subway to expand rapidly, outpacing competitors. For Fred and Peter, each new franchisee not only brought in an upfront fee, but also contributed to ongoing royalties, amounting to roughly $7 million in weekly checks for Fred at the peak of Subway's success. Despite the success enjoyed by Fred and Peter through Subway's franchise model, the reality for many franchisees running Subway shops was far from ideal. In 1998, a staggering 40% of Subway franchise owners reported barely scraping by, with some struggling to turn a profit. One of the major issues stemmed from Subway's aggressive expansion strategy, often saturating small areas with multiple Subway locations. This intense competition made it challenging for individual restaurants to thrive financially. Fred's eagerness to grow Subway led to a sales approach that some considered predatory. Many franchisees, particularly immigrants, found themselves signing complex contracts written in unfamiliar languages, with little comprehension of the risks involved. Despite suggestions to implement comprehension tests, Subway management prioritized signing up more franchisees over ensuring they fully understood the terms. In some cases, Subway's contract terms were deemed illegal in certain U.S. states, granting Fred significant power to seize franchises and control the market. Franchise owners were even prohibited from speaking to the media, further limiting their autonomy. While Subway's rapid expansion brought financial success to Fred and Peter, it came at the expense of many franchisees who felt misled and exploited by the company's aggressive tactics. Later in 2017, some Subway franchisees broke their silence, revealing to Business Insider that the company's Eat Fresh slogan didn't always ring true. Forced to order ingredients only once a week, they often received mushy and rotten vegetables. Attempts to source from alternative suppliers or schedule more frequent deliveries risked franchise loss or license revocation. Even cucumber slicing had to be precise, or franchisees faced increased royalty rates or closure. Legal action seemed impossible due to contractual restrictions. Meanwhile, Fred and Peter's Subway empire was expanding internationally, with the first non-US location opening in Bahrain in 1984. Opting for this unconventional choice sparked speculation, but its small size made it an ideal testing ground for Subway's products. Fred's relentless drive for expansion led him to scour the globe for new Subway locations, despite incredulous employees who were consistently proven wrong as Subway surpassed ambitious growth targets. Amidst some franchisee dissatisfaction, Subway's rapid global expansion continued unabated. Soon, the company would embark on a promotional campaign that would both solidify its reputation and spark a scandal, marking a pivotal moment in fast food history. You see, in the 1990s and early 2000s, Subway carved out a unique marketing niche by promoting the healthiness of its sandwiches. With fresh ingredients, on-site baked bread, and customizable options, Subway differentiated itself from the fried fare offered by competitors. They touted a staggering 4.9 billion possible sandwich combinations. In 1997, Subway launched a campaign highlighting 7 low-fat sandwich options, contrasting them with the calorie-laden burgers and tacos of their rivals. Their marketing reached new heights when a customer named Jared Fogle claimed to have lost 245 pounds by eating Subway sandwiches daily. Subway capitalized on this success by hiring Jared as their spokesperson in 2000. Jared's transformation story resonated with customers, leading to a 20% increase in sales after the first commercial aired. His ads became wildly popular, with Subway's chief marketing officer crediting Jared for up to half of the company's recent growth. Jared's Subway diet turned him into a celebrity, featuring in ads for over a decade and even meeting Oprah. Subway seemed to have struck gold with Jared as the face of their brand. However, their fortune took a dark turn when an unimaginable scandal involving their spokesperson unfolded, shattering the company's reputation. In 2015, Subway was rocked by a scandal involving their spokesperson, Jared Fogle. The discovery of disturbing images and messages with kids led to his conviction for serious offenses, including possessing and distributing inappropriate content and exploiting minors. Subway quickly severed ties with Fogle, claiming ignorance of his actions, but scrutiny arose over what they knew and when. However, Subway's troubles didn't end there. The company faced mounting criticism over their health claims and the quality of their ingredients. Accusations flew about their use of a chemical found in yoga mats in their bread, allegations of misrepresented tuna in their sandwiches, and revelations that their chicken contained more soy than meat. Even their iconic foot-long sandwiches were found to be shorter than advertised, leading to public outcry and legal battles. Adding to the chain's woes, an Irish franchise attempted to save money by suggesting that Subway's bread should be tax-exempt as a staple food. Yet, an investigation revealed that their bread contained significant amounts of sugar, enough to classify it as a dessert rather than a staple. This revelation dealt a severe blow to Subway's reputation as a healthy dining choice. Despite Subway's attempts to address these issues and settle some out of court, the damage to their brand was significant. The once reliable fast food giant found itself embroiled in controversy and struggling to rebuild trust with consumers. Fred had big dreams for his company, even from its humble beginnings as Pete's Super Submarines. From day one, he envisioned surpassing the likes of McDonald's. While McDonald's still held the crown for revenue, Subway was making waves in sheer number of locations. By 2016, they hit their peak with a staggering 44,000 stores worldwide, churning out an impressive 5,300 sandwiches every single minute. Tragically, Fred's journey was cut short when leukemia took him in 2015. Despite his immense wealth, rumored to be over $3 billion by then, Fred remained famously frugal. Stories abound of his refusal to shell out even a couple of dollars for a bottle of water on principle. Love him or criticize him, Fred was the driving force behind Subway's meteoric rise. However, his tight grip on power meant that when he passed, there was no clear plan for succession. Nobody quite understood the business like Fred did, and Subway's decline in store count since his death reflects this lack of direction. In 2018, franchisees revealed to Business Insider that a third of Subway's U.S. locations were struggling to turn a profit. Critics blamed Subway's rapid expansion for creating cutthroat competition among its own stores, making it tough for franchises to thrive. Fred's relentless push for growth may have pushed Subway beyond its limits. With Fred gone, Subway lost its edge. While other fast food joints innovated, Subway found itself stuck in neutral. The loss of key marketing figures like Jared Fogle and its reputation as a healthy choice hit hard. A journalist's attempt at the Subway diet in 2016 only underscored this, concluding that Subway's days of health supremacy were over. Lawsuits over dubious ingredients and rising prices further tarnished Subway's image. The shadow of Jared Fogle's scandal lingered, making a full brand recovery challenging. In short, Subway appeared to be on a downward slide, despite still raking in massive profits. However, there's always a chance for a turnaround in the world of fast food. In 2019, Subway embarked on a mission to breathe new life into its brand by appointing John Chidsey as CEO. Chidsey, renowned for his successful turnaround efforts at Burger King, wasted no time in identifying Subway's menu as stale, largely due to years of little change, exacerbated by the challenges surrounding Frank Duca's illness. Determined to shake things up, Subway launched its ambitious Eat Fresh Refresh campaign in July 2021, touted as the most extensive menu update in the company's history. The Eat Fresh Refresh initiative brought forth a wave of innovation, introducing a plethora of new sandwiches and ingredients. There was a noticeable shift towards offering standardized sandwich options, moving away from the traditional build-your-own approach. The move was well received by some of the world's most renowned athletes, including Steph Curry and Tom Brady, who lent their endorsement to the revamped menu. Subway didn't stop there. In a bid to enhance operational efficiency, Subway invested a staggering $80 million to equip its restaurants with in-house meat slicers, a move considered one of the most significant and complex changes in the brand's history. Simultaneously, efforts were made to attract top-tier talent to the corporate level by introducing equity compensation plans and bonuses for the first time. However, Subway's transformation didn't end with its menu and operational upgrades. In 2023, the company underwent a significant shift in ownership, transitioning from a long-standing family-owned business to being acquired by Roar Capital, a private equity firm with a portfolio that includes Jimmy John's and numerous other fast food chains. This change marked another pivotal moment in Subway's ongoing transformation journey. These substantial changes have undoubtedly left their mark, with indicators such as improving sales per location suggesting a positive trajectory for Subway's future. For those who haven't visited Subway in a while, the difference in offerings and operations may come as a pleasant surprise. With such promising signs, Subway appears to be well on its way to establishing itself as a more stable and efficient operation in the competitive fast food landscape. What's your take? Will Subway stage a comeback with its recent changes, or is this the start of a slow decline towards closure? Thanks for tuning in to this episode. If you found it engaging, give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe to stay updated on our future content. If you enjoyed this video, you won't want to miss the one playing on your screen next. Click to watch, and I'll catch you in the next episode.